we found a cause, we found a purpose, and we thought that, okay, it's not only about knowing this subject, it is also about that, how much awareness we can create around this subject, that this can be a full-fledged career for somebody with me, that, this career is going to be around because which organization will stop acquiring good talent?
Yeah.
Right? So if you can create a niche for yourself in this space, I think it is a career you can be in.
So, since you have read many books, right? Definitely now you have kind of gained some kind of knowledge as well. Have you ever thought of writing some kind of books or novels that you read? I have just 2-year-old kid.
Okay.
So uh, whenever we try to do something or share or make ourselves learn, first we try to set the example by doing the same thing. Is it the same way you have also done in the past when you were trying to teach something to your son? Definitely you are a great inspiration to lots of mother plus entrepreneur, because not everyone can balance all things together, right? So salute to you that you were able to manage between the family plus your inspiration as well.
I took sabbatical twice. I was okay to take sabbaticals because what matters the most, Prafulla, is attitude,
Yes.
than anything else. And of course, the opportunity. Seize the opportunity, have that attitude to say, okay, I will make this happen. It's okay. I mean, I'll take baby steps, but I'll make this happen. And I'll go through the, teething issues.
Hi everyone, welcome to I'm a Recruiter podcast. I'm your host Prafulla Deori. I'm thrilled to have you with us today. I'm a Recruiter is more than just a podcast. It is a movement by and for talent acquisition professionals. We are here to shake things up, and we want to help K recruiters evolve from a traditional recruiter to a trusted talent advisor. Our vision is to build most influential global community of K professionals, and you are heard of it. If you are getting value from our content, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share, and also let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. Let's build the community together. So with this, we are diving into the world of talent acquisition today with a very special guest, Kavya Seth. Kavya is a co-founder and a CEO of WENcademy, an initiative by Women Entrepreneur Network. WENcademy is doing incredible work by providing recruiting skills to those looking to start, restart, and upskill their career. So welcome, Kavya. Welcome to I Am Recruiter show. We are really excited and grateful to have you in our podcast today.
Thank you, Rafal. I echo the same feeling. Thank you so much for having me here. Happy to speak. Happy to add, to the journey of all recruiters, talent acquisition professionals.
Thank you, Kavya. Again, as we discussed, right, this is about your journey. The purpose of this podcast is we want to learn from everyone's journey. We want to empower the TA professionals out there through our podcast, through different learning challenges what other people have faced, so that they can avoid some of the things which we were not able to, and plus they can learn better things from us, right? Okay, so Kavya, before we start, can you also quickly brief a little bit about yourself? Like, what are you currently doing?
I actually landed in talent acquisition honestly by chance and not by plan. So, I was looking. So I did my So I was a little confused person initially. Of course, I did my electronics honors and then I did my masters in HR. But I was very clear about one thing for sure, that by the time I was completing my MBA, I was clear that I want to do something in a talent space for sure. Now, acquisition happened to me because I started work with this organization and I thought that I'll be there for a couple of years and then move to the business HR role. And I actually did that also, Praful. So I moved different organizations and I have been on both sides of the table, honestly, at the corporate side and as well as the consulting side. But I had a lot of bent towards consulting side, which I realized over the years and in my career. So that's basically my background. So I'm a professional in talent acquisition space and a talent management space. And now, since 3 years, I have been associated with an organization called Women Entrepreneur Network. This is founded by my mentor, Kanika Vaswani. And she reached out and she said that, can we do something together, which is more around bringing a lot of, women back to work and restarting and learning acquisition as a career. That is where the current assignment came into picture in 21. And yeah, I mean, that's about me. So I come with a little experience of around 19 plus years and primarily into talent acquisition, talent management. And also I have been an entrepreneur a couple of times, first by chance, now by choice. So that has been my journey.
Great. Thank you so much for the detailed introduction. So just a very nice initiative for all the people who wanted to restart their career or upskill their career as well. So great initiative, Kavya.
Yeah, we're trying it.
Great. So you mentioned that you are basically from Delhi or Jaipur?
No, I'm from Delhi. I
Okay,
belong
you are
from Delhi.
okay. And how was your days during your education time? Like, what kind of students were you? You were kind of very studious, or you were kind of backbenchers, or you were fun going and fun loving?
So in
Kind of.
school, I have been a very studious student. I always wanted to be the best in my classwork, do my homeworks on time and everything. But I think what I didn't do in school was thinking little long term. So I didn't thought about now what will I. So I got good marks. I took science subjects. I didn't want to study biology, so I took computer science. So, so while I did all that, but I was not thinking through, the subjects and the journey I'm going to take further. I think that is where I did not really landed up, doing what I could have done. So I could have done engineering, probably sometimes I feel, and taken that path. But I think I was not thinking about myself at that point in time much. But this is something which suddenly changed when I completed my bachelor's. And, I started thinking a lot about myself. And I said, okay, where do I want to land up now? What do I want to do in my career? How I want to be perceived in my career. So I think that is something which changed drastically in me while I was still a student in masters. So I did not this is something which did not change in me like after my education, but during my education only. And I think a lot of credit goes to my professors, and my mentors in my MBA college, because, they gave us a direction very clearly. I did my MBA in 2005. They gave us a direction very clearly that, this is now the time. Think where you want to land up, because if you're not thinking about yourself, no one else is thinking about you, right? So, that is where the maturity and an understanding came. And I picked up, human resources as my subject. And of course, thanks to the first organization I worked, I chose talent acquisition as my subject. So I was doing talent acquisition, and now at WENcademy, our initiative at WEN, our organization, we now teach, talent acquisition. And when me and Kanaka started this, a lot of people said that, okay, how will you teach talent acquisition? How will you teach recruitment? But, we were very clear that, while we are entering a very difficult segment, but we know our work and we know that, we can do good in this space. So we found a cause, we found a purpose, and we thought that, okay, it's not only about knowing this subject, it is also about that, how much awareness we can create around this subject, that this can be a full-fledged career for somebody, right? And so that is where my journey was. And that is how I transitioned, honestly, as a student. I still feel I'm a student because, I want to keep learning and I keep picking up new programs. I want to be a part of new cohorts myself as well, because you have to constantly, upgrade yourself, upskill yourself. And that is applicable to, I think, all of us. That is my individual thought. But yeah, I mean, I feel that we all should be learning throughout. So that has been my transition, which
Great.
I don't think I was thinking about myself till my graduation also. So I was just doing
Yeah.
things, which
In generally, many students doesn't have the clarity till the time they go to graduation or post graduation. And do you also think like during those days the awareness was not there much, right?
I was
And
more
there
like
was
your parents guiding you. But I think it is still like that. Your parents will always guide you, but I think the newer generation is very active, very smart. And that is what I really like about them. A lot of people say it's difficult to work with the generation, but I feel that, it is, they're very thoughtful for themselves. They know what they want to take up, but sometimes they're not able to kind of really converge it, or kind of really, meet the ends with that. But otherwise, I feel that people are more aware now, as compared to how we were in 2004-5, when we were completing our education as in our postgrad and all that. I think there's more awareness definitely, around.
yes. And you have mentioned that you did your MBA in HR, then talent acquisition happened. So how was the transition like? Because not many people would have known about talent acquisition by that time, right? When you
Yes,
started.
I joined a consulting firm, and
Okay.
a consulting firm which was purely into acquiring talent for their clients. And that is where thanks to my amazing mentors, Kanika happens to be one of them at that time as well. I met
Okay.
her in my first organization. And, I think a lot of it, of course, I understood from them. It was a completely new career for me. I had no clue. I always knew that, you do HR and then you become like an HR manager, or, of course, like an assistant manager, and then you move up the ladder. That's the career I was aware of, honestly, as a student. But when I joined the consulting firm and the consulting career, I realized that, okay, there is this career and this is like a huge industry, which exists. And there are lots of wonderful people working in it. And I think I was very inspired with all of them around. And of course, knowing different client organizations and industries at the same time, was something which was very inspiring. And I'm a, and also led to a lot of curiosity in me that, okay, what next and what else I can do and what other clients I can do. I started my career working for, automobile clients, but then moved to various industries. And I think no career could have done that to anybody than consulting. So I have a huge respect for this career, honestly. Having said so, of course, it's a personal choice to be on a consulting side. Yeah, so that's where it is. I think people are more aware. They know what careers to choose. We were not like that, honestly.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but, I like the clarity in people now that, they're very clear, and also they're picking up new careers, right? But the good part about talent acquisition career, Prafulla, and you being a professional in the same space, I think would agree with me that, this career is going to be around because which organization will stop acquiring good talent?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, every organization will acquire good talent, right? So if you can create a niche for yourself in this space, I think it is a career you can be in.
Yes, totally agree. Even I was trying to do some research about talent acquisition background, like when it was started and all those things. So what I found in Google and other ChatGPT and Gemini and other details, that it was started long back during the King's time as well, when they were hiring soldiers as well, right? So talent acquisition is that old, but it have transformed a lot, right? How it was earlier and how it is now. right? Another question which I have for you, Kavya. Many people these days, youngsters, are not very sure if they should start a career in consulting or not, right? So me personally, I have started my career in consulting as well. So definitely, if you want to learn in depth, plus in broad with multiple different clients, it's a very great platform, right, to start your career with consulting. Because if you work with a bigger organization, you are limited to your single stakeholders, right? What do you think? What's your opinion over that?
Okay, so I feel, Praful, that you have to be ready on it doesn't matter what side of the table you are. No, honestly, when I worked for corporates, I met some amazing people. I learned so much from them, and I think every input was important, whether you're working for a consulting or whether you're working for when you're working for an end organization. Also, there are internal stakeholders you need to deal with, right? I know they're not different to your organization, but then you need to work with them, deal with them, acquire talent for them, work on certain timelines, milestones. So I think it is about the individual as well, that how you want to learn, rather than what side of the table you are, because there would be people who will not pick up any learning on the consulting side, and there would be people who will pick up no learning on the corporate side as well. But there would be people who will always seize the opportunity to learn anything, and they will do it wherever they are. So I think it is all about working on yourself, and being open to observe your seniors, your peers, your juniors, and learn through observations and learn through practice. So I think it is about the individual. So if I have to, I mean, I'm no one to give any input, like, in that space, but if anybody has to work on anything, I think it is on themselves, and, work forward from there, because I think it is a lot about us first, then about wherever you are in life. So
Yes. Can we also talk a little about your transition from a consulting side to a corporate side? So how was the journey and what thought process you had? Why did you choose to move from a consulting side to a corporate side?
okay, so I did a transition to the corporate after 2.5 years of my journey in consulting. I was doing very well in consulting, and for me, it was more like a natural transition, is what I thought in my mind, because I wanted to see that side of the table as well. And I wanted to experience how it is to be a part of an organization. And thankfully, things turned out like that. When I joined my second organization, I met some amazing people there as well, amazing business heads. My own mentor, she was very inspiring. I never wanted to take a leave. I wanted to go to office every day, because it's like, you meet like a wonderful teacher in school, and you then don't want to miss school, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't shy away from saying that, I became like a little student, and I always wanted to go to office, learn from her, observe her a lot. And that is where my journey started. I was doing fairly well there, but then I always, I think, missed consulting somewhere. Unlike a lot of people, I decided to come back to consulting. My dad was also not very excited about this. He said that, don't do that. Who does that? You've already made a transition to the corporate, move up the ladder there. But I think I came back to consulting because at a very young age, I was getting an opportunity to set up the new business. So I am someone who would like to paint the canvas and say, okay, this is something which I created, and, things like that, rather than working,
With the set process.
yeah, very set processes and all that. So I'm a big fan of processes, honestly, myself. I follow processes and everything. It is more about, can you be a creator of one, kind of a zone. So I thought that, okay, it is a huge opportunity. I came back, I joined my first organization again. And, after that, my journey in consulting, was going smooth. I also started my own venture in between. That was also on a consulting side. I also joined another corporate in between. I did, I was there for some time, but then I had to let go that opportunity because of some personal reasons. So I came back and I started my own venture. 21 post-COVID is when WENcademy happened. So, When as an organization is an HR tech platform, which basically works with a lot of women restarters. So we are extremely excited about creating this. My co-founder Kanika did this. I started the practice of WENcademy for her in 21. At WENcademy, we started with recruitment programs for non-recruiting professionals, and specifically women who would like to restart their careers. But gradually, of course, with 3 years of journey in this business line, we are evolving, we are learning new things. We are now a full-fledged organization which can provide learning and development solutions and beyond recruiting space. So that has been my journey. So, I mean, but whatever has been the transition from consulting to corporate to consulting to corporate, or as an entrepreneur, I think every stage of this career, of course, taught me a lot without saying. But not only that, I think I was also very, very open to learn and see, okay, how I can evolve and how I can, value add to the current role I am in. So I think that is how my journey has been, and that is how I've evolved over the years, to answer your
Nice.
question.
Great. So now asking a little bit about your personal life, right? So as a person, what kind of person is Kavya? Like when she's not working and she's not running her own business, what she love to do?
Okay, so I think my background says a lot about this. So I like reading, and I am a little old school. I read books. I love buying books. I think going and buying books offline. I mean, I don't buy books online because I like going to the bookstore, be there, sit there, and kind of pick up my book. So I think that is something which is an activity does a lot of times. Other than that, I am a mother of an 11-year-old boy. So spending time with him, working on his, nurturing him and kind of, taking care of him, I think it's something which I love doing. I work in a hybrid model. So I work from home, I go to office. And I think that is something which I thoroughly enjoy, hybrid working, because it gives me a lot of, sense of achievement that, okay, I've been able to manage a lot of things. But having said so, I think personally, I'm someone who would like to encourage talent a lot. Yes, I have an inclination towards people who pick up talent acquisition as a career, because that is a subject which I understand and I know, and I want to add to their journeys. So I think that is like a little mix of what I am. And yeah, other than that, I don't think there is any achievements I want to kind of really mention right now. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of me, if beyond work is me, but primarily a lot of my time goes into work. I'm constantly thinking about, okay, what else we can do at, WENcademy, how we can add more people to this journey, how we can have more people to this cause. So I think that a lot of my time goes into that as well.
Yes, great. Thank you for sharing. So definitely you have mentioned that you love reading, you love speaking, going to a bookstore and pick up books by reading and other things, right? So how did you get this habit, right? From your childhood, someone was there to, you saw someone, how did you pick this habit?
Okay, so I think as I said in school also, I was more into books and studies and all that. I think that is where it all started, at the expense of sounding, very old school. I used to love going to library, sit through, do my, reading there. But I don't remember exactly when this happened, but I think when I was trying to instill on my son, that, okay, it's a good idea to kind of be off screen and don't read online and kind of thing, is when around 7 or 8 years back, this transition happened wherein we got into a practice to visit a bookstore every 15 days. I initially thought that I'm doing it for my son, but then I realized that I am doing this for myself as well, because that is something which I was also enjoying. So I think that is where the transition happened. So now going to a bookstore every 15 days is something which we'll do, wherever we are, whichever city we are visiting, even on vacations, this family can go to a bookstore. So yeah, but this has become like a part of us as a family. So now, a lot of times, and everybody has a different flair, right, to read. I mean, for example, I will always read more about real people and the real concepts and the processes, and how did the organization do well, or how did individuals do well, so yeah. And in between, so this is something which I'm not pursuing right now, but in between, I also, I was doing a lot of running, so that is where I started reading about runners and how they have, how they have, how these people have got inspired to really continue with that kind of thing. That is still something, a work in progress for me. But yeah, I mean, a lot of life events, I think, led to these choices. So, and the life stages. So when I was a new mom and I wanted my child to study, so I picked up this habit and got this practice at home. But, I think different life stages leading to different habits in me, so I feel like that, I personally feel that, that is where it is coming from.
Interesting. So I have three related questions, not one, two,
Okay.
three related questions, because
Okay,
I'm very
if I
excited.
can answer this. Yeah.
No, it's very easy,
Okay.
right? So since you have read many books, right, definitely now you have kind of gained some kind of knowledge as well. Have you ever thought of writing some kind of books or novels as well? So
Not-
that is number one question.
Okay.
So second question is, I'm kind of a very new dad. I have just 2-year-old kid.
Okay.
So whenever we try to do something or share or make our son learn, first we try to set the example by doing the same thing. Is it the same way you have also done in your past when you were trying to teach something to your son? That is second question. And third question is, definitely you are a great inspiration to lots of mother plus entrepreneur, because not everyone can balance all things together, right? So salute to you that you were able to manage between the family plus your inspiration as well, right? And what have kept you going? So these are my three questions for you, because I was very excited. I didn't want to disturb you in
The
between.
first one I already answered, Prafulla. I don't think I'm really capable to write a book for sure. And, I think writing is something which I want to do, but I'm not able to kind of really balance that right now in my scheme of things. I think I also read a lot because, because of WENcademy. Because, see, if you want to deliver cohorts and work with so many participants and work with so many clients, you need to be knowledgeable, right? So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, how can you gain knowledge? Either you read, or you're so having that knowledge and making sure that I stay knowledgeable is something which books are doing well for me. Honestly, I don't think that, I really thought like this, that, okay, yes, all parents wants to be role models to their kids, but I don't think I really made that, effort to pick up any habit because of this. I think I initially thought I'll do it, but I gradually just got into it and I started enjoying it more. I think then my son. So that is where it all came from, to answer your second question. The third question, sorry, you asked one more thing, right? Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah. The third question is, how do you balance between like,
So I want to say that I'm not at all, a very, I don't think it is, I think all of us have good days, bad days, and priorities. I think for me and for When Academy right now, the priority is to reach out to a lot of people and, reach out to a lot of professionals, reach out to a lot of people and encourage them to invest their time, money, energy into upskilling, reskilling. So that's on the individual side, right? We work with individual learners, wherein we reach out to them and we tell them that, okay, talent acquisition can be a career for you. Recruiting can be a career for you, right? It is a career which is almost location agnostic. You don't have to be really present in office to do acquisition a lot of times, or recruiting if you're working for a consulting firm. Depends upon the organization structure, how they want this role to be stand out. But, if you want to be a freelancer and work, from your home or from any city, then probably recruiting can be a career. So that is one segment where we are trying to reach out to a lot of people, individuals. The second side of it is, of course, the B2B side of it, wherein we are, we work with a lot of client organizations, wherein also we talk about not only acquisition, upskilling and, programs around recruiting professionals or their teams, but also overall, upskilling, reskilling, handholding kind of thing. So right now, I think a lot of me is trying to balance thoughts around that, okay, how do we increase our outreach and how do we just reach out to a lot of people? So I think a lot of me is going into that. So I don't think I'm doing a very, and I'm someone who can really say, okay, do this in the day and that is how your day should look like. I think I struggle, I respect that struggle. And I think what I've learned over the years is to make sure that things are moving forward. Instead of thinking that, okay, it has to be super perfect. I think what I have learned, if I have to share one thing with anybody, is like, keep taking little steps forward, keep moving forward, because that is important. And of course, perfection and doing it in a very good manner is super important, but then that'll happen. But the most important is to just keep moving forward. So I think that is one thing for sure. But having said so, because we are a growing business, we are a growing, company, a lot of our time, and not only me, I think a lot of our leaders are constantly thinking about this growth. And when you're thinking about growth and when you're thinking about what next, I don't think you're like, okay, I'm cool. You're never cool, right? You want to make things happen, right? So I don't think I'm there, but definitely. And I think the hustle is important, right? So, I mean, we are all hustling and we are trying to,
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that keeps me going and that keeps a lot of us going. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could answer your questions, but that is where I wanted to share my.
Yes. So the reason why I asked you the third question is because I see my wife, right? She was trying to balance between her work and kid and everything. So somehow, since she is quite young, she has now left her job because she was feeling that she was not able to make the bond with the kid because she need to go quite early to office and because of traffic and all those things, and she come late as well by the time he sleeps, right? So because of that, the struggle I've seen in her, and sometimes it's women who have to go through those changes.
No, so Prafulla, just to let you know, I took sabbaticals too. I took sabbatical twice. I did a comeback with Venn in 21, and I was on a sabbatical, when I joined them. Kanika was super nice enough to have me, after that. But I think it is, okay, I would not like to say this for everybody, but I think for me personally, it was okay to take sabbaticals because, I was in a role, a mom role there. I am still, of course, a mom, but then, I think that is where I was needed more, in that role, right? So I gradually realized that, the presence of you in certain roles at that given point in time or that phase is something we all need to be okay with. I think gradually I learned it a hard way, honestly. I thought, no, okay, why me? Why I had to take a back seat and everything. But then gradually I realized that, there are a lot of ways you can continue your career. Like, at When, we are a team of more than 200 women who are all restarters. They come with amazing backgrounds. They come with, and a lot of them are non-recruiting, yeah, and doing a great job, when it comes to acquiring talent and recruiting professionals and across domains. I mean, they're doing leadership hiring, they're doing C-suite mandates to us, they're doing they're doing middle level, junior level mandates to us. But I think what is common amongst all of us is that we decided to come back. Number one, we were not competing with anybody. Everybody makes a comeback at whatever junction or stage of life allows them to. And I think that is important. Keep if you want to have a career, and it's absolutely okay to not have a career if that's your choice. But if your choice is to have a career, just think that okay, I want to make a comeback. Now, how, when, why? I think is very individual, requirement, right? I mean, I did a comeback first when my son was 15 months old. I did a second, then I again took a sabbatical. I did a second comeback when my son was, already around 7 years old. So it is about where and how. But I think having that thought in mind that, okay, I will come back, and keep constantly thinking how. Also think of reskilling yourself. if you were in a job, which requires you to be in office, but now you want to come back after your sabbatical, but you are very clear that, okay, this is not something which I can do. I cannot go to office 5 days. Then probably recruiting is a great career because honestly, it doesn't require you to go to office every day until the organization structure is like, right? For example, a lot of women who work with us, we have a full-time team working out of Goa and Delhi, but a lot of women who work for Women Entrepreneur Network and WENcademy are working from home. And also, I think that is where balance can come. But it all comes with a little experience and a little learning and a little choices. And, so it's like a journey. If I have to say anything to your, wife, she's with a very young kid. But, if she wants to make a comeback, she can think of how she can and, definitely make a comeback sooner, So, yeah, I mean, not having very long sabbaticals is a good idea. But is it a hindrance to come back? I don't think ever. I meet some people who have made a comeback after 8 to 10 years as well. But they had so much of zeal to make a comeback and make it happen and manage those teething issues and have a career. I think what matters the most, Prafulla, is attitude,
Yes.
than anything else. And of course, the opportunity. Seize the opportunity, have that attitude to say, okay, I will make this happen. It's okay. I mean, I'll take baby steps, but I'll make this happen. And I'll go through the, teething issues. I think that is where it is. And a lot of patience, probably for people. So I think that is some ingredients which has worked for me. And thanks to the amazing mentors I'm surrounded by, I think they all taught me this, gradually, slowly, initially, later, whatever you want to say. But I think that has been my journey. So that is where it is.
Yes. Thank you for being candid and being open.
Yeah.
So now moving back to your entrepreneur journey, like you mentioned that you have started a couple of ventures by you, like during your consulting days, after your consulting days as well, right? So what was your thought behind it? Like
when I started my first venture, I think I purely did it for the flexibility because my son was very young. I thought that, okay, having your own venture will give me a lot of flexibility. So I used to only work half a day, and by the time my little one was coming back home, I used to be back home, and so that is where the first venture happened. Taught me a lot because I was not aware how to do it. Gradually, I moved back to the full-time role after that once my son was a little independent, and then of course, once a parent, always a parent, that journey kept going on. And 21, when I reached out and Karika also discussed that, okay, we can do something together. That is a stage when I decided that, okay, it's not about anyone, but it's about the kind of people you want to work. So these are my kind of people I want to work. Super inspiring, encouraging, kind of people. And, that is the team I wanted to be associated with. So I think everybody needs to realize that where do they want to be, number one, and what kind of people they want to work with and work towards that. I was fortunate enough to get this opportunity. I'm building on this opportunity. And I think we are doing a very good job at Venn and WENcademy. Certain numbers are super inspiring. I think we have already worked with over 1,000 plus, 1,500 plus rather precisely learners already, individuals, groups, corporates, everything. So I think the journey itself is fueling, is actually leading to a lot of motivation that, okay, we are 3-year-old. Now where do we want to be? As an organization, we are already 6 years plus. Venn is already 6 years plus. We have multiple businesses. We have WENcademy, which is a training arm. We have Venn Diversity, which does the diversity consulting. We have Venn Digital, wherein we take care of the digital and the marketing requirements of our client organizations. We have Venn Consult, which is our major business, which basically is a recruitment arm. It caters to all client requirements at across levels. So we have Venn Hire, wherein we do leadership hiring with a super process oriented there and everything. So, so things are looking very encouraging for us as an organization. And I think when an organization is growing and things are encouraging, I think people like us feel very encouraged. And I think that is what is working for me. I mean, that is fueling my every day when I get up in the morning and I say, okay, now today, what are we doing and how we are doing and how we are value adding, and how we are growing as an organization. I think that is something which is super encouraging for all of us, all our leaders at Venn. And yeah, I mean, this is where it is. So hopefully, we are doing something amazing, and I think we will keep doing this and make something amazing out of it. So yeah, what started as a cause, and a thought and a purpose. The good part is that we are intact with that. We want a lot of women to come back to work. Also we want to enable them through initiatives like WENcademy. So if you don't know how to recruit, we can teach you how to recruit. Right? If you don't know how to do leadership hiring, we can teach you that, right? And you don't have to really join only us after that. You can go and join any organization, right? With that. So yeah, I mean, these are paid programs, yes, and these are certified programs. So this is how the journey has been. So let's see where we reach with it. But hopefully we should reach, somewhere nice and good only.
Great. So I have one question because I'm a recruiter is quite young, right? We have just started in Feb and We are just trying, we have a similar purpose to help the recruiters, and which is kind of similar to what you people are also doing, like WENcademy, right? So when you started, right, did you try to set a goal per year basis? Like, this is our goal, this is what we will focus, and this is we'll try to commit and deliver, right? Were you doing that, or is it something different on the go? Because I'm still learning.
Yeah.
That is the reason I'm trying to.
I'll tell you what, I think you're super humble in saying this, just being humble in saying that you're still learning. Because creating a community, which is like I'm a recruiter with 4,000 plus followers already. While you're a young community, I would say you've done a fairly good job, all of you. Because having that pause to bring recruiters together in at one place, and trying to understand that, okay, what all we can do together. I think it's an amazing initiative. So congratulations to you and to your team on that. For us, if I had to answer part two of your question, for us, yes, every year we should be growing is our purpose. We should be adding more people to this. For example, at WENcademy, we do not only work with women, we work with, we also work with seniors. So for example, somebody who's a retired professional, would they like to pick up recruiting as a career? So we are trying to touch different communities and touch points so that we know, okay, who all can. For example, a very recent initiative is around people with special abilities. Can we work with them? How we work with them? Can recruiting be a career for them? What else can be a career for them? So there is a lot of thought going on every year, of course. So that is our journey, and that is helping us grow. Do we have a plan in place? Of course, we have a plan in place, but we don't mind tweaking, because all of us in the leadership is very open to hear ideas, listen to what else can be done. And if we are not doing this right, let's just, take it out and we do it in a different way. So I think that is something we all have agreed that we will keep intact. We'll keep this intact. We will never be closed to the idea and the journey that, okay, now so there, one way of looking at it is that, okay, how much you think and do it and all that. But how we look at it at WENcademy and When is that, this is our journey, this is our organization, and we will rebuild it as many times if required. So we are very open, and I think that is something which is definitely amazing about all of us. And if I have to share, anything with anyone in this space, I think it's about just be open to rebuild and rework, as many times as required. So that is where it is. I don't know if I could answer your question exactly, but yeah, I mean, I tried.
Definitely great suggestion. We are just in the learning phase, so we are just trying to learn from everyone. We try to be very much open with everyone so that we get a genuine feedback as well, right? As a community.
Also,
Other
I
thing,
just wanted to add one thing for the community that, it's a good idea to see, because, we are all talent acquisition professionals. I think it's a good idea to keep looking for upskilling opportunities and, newer things for yourself. Because, what I realized is that, how I was hiring probably 10 years back or 8 years or 5 years is something how the world is not hiring now. So, but, a lot of times what happens is that, as professionals, you feel, okay, I will align a training for my other functions, but you don't think for a training for yourself, right? So I think recruiters need to also think that, okay, and I'm sure a lot of them and a lot of us are already thinking that, but it's a great opportunity to, and a great era to be in, wherein you can constantly keep telling yourself that, okay, this is where I want to reach in terms of my learning milestone. So 25, maybe every quarter, I want to learn a new skill in recruiting, whether it is AI or whether it is, how to use alternate ways of sourcing. I mean, keep putting a little milestones for yourself and keep chasing that and see, okay, is this organizations or professionals who can help me learn this? So by the time you complete a year, probably a calendar year, I think everybody can be in that zone that, okay, I learned, even if you learn like one new thing a quarter, you will end up learning like 4 new things in a
Yeah.
year, right? 4 new ways of hiring. Because I think innovation is super important right now in acquisition as well.
Yeah,
How,
yeah.
when, where. So a lot of us are talking about it, but a lot of us are not experiencing it, right? We might know how to use a particular platform, but we've never gone there and used it. So I think 2 things for sure for the community. One, look what all you can learn to add further to your portfolio and to your journey. And second is, from where can you learn? Choose the right people. And I think the third is to give a pat on your back when you learn it, right? I mean, implement it. Implementation is the key. If you're learning something new, implement it. Maybe you don't get a closure with that, but at least now you know how to use it, right? And, go further from there. So I think that is something which I wanted to say for the community of I'm a recruiter as well. And I want to wish the community a lot of luck and a lot of success. Do very well, and very inspiring to see your journey already.
So even we felt the same thing, because there were many people who reach out to the community to help them find jobs. But what we have realized that not everyone have upscaled themselves with the time. Because what you have mentioned is correct. The 5 years, 10 years back, and the ways of hiring is different compared to now, right? So we should also learn different tactics, different ways of sourcing or recruiting or stakeholder management. Whatever is required, we have to upskill ourselves, which people are not doing. And because of that, what we have also seen in the market, whenever there is a layoff, first the TA team get impacted some or the other way. And if you are on the top recruiter in the company, then no one will dare to touch you. So definitely there is a huge gap in the market, which we believe. So that's what I wanted to share. With the interest of time, I just have a couple of more questions for you, right? So I'm very eager to learn about WENcademy. You have already taught lots of different things, right? So as a community, how WENcademy can help community members, like in terms of training, in terms of upskilling, what are the different ways we can get in touch with WENcademy and upskill ourselves?
So, WENcademy is a business which basically caters to the training needs of professionals. We definitely started with a lot of work with recruiting professionals, wherein our flagship program basically is a recruitment foundation program and a recruitment essentials cohort. Now, what we do in these two programs is the foundation is a program which you can take up or anyone can take up, even if you're a non-recruiting professional. So it's a longer program. We do like a 3 to 4 weeks kind of an engagement wherein 2 weeks is absolutely concepts, theory. We introduce you to this industry, to the terms and everything. And the later 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks is working on live roles. So Foundation is a program which can help even non-recruiting professionals. I don't know if you have any in the community right now, but if people beyond the community, if they want to learn recruiting, as a skill, then Foundation is a program. A person from my team, Anisha Walia is the person catering to this flagship program, and we can help people, professionals with her contacts to reach out. There is an essentials program which is also primarily around the upskilling of already existing recruiting professionals. So what we do in essentials cohort is more around what is the latest, how you can utilize various sources and channels and ways to assess the candidate, to first of all to find a candidate, then to do the right assessments, and to make sure that you're managing those offer discussions well, and you're decoding their candidate, you're decoding their compensations. You're trying to understand that okay, what will be the good offer for my candidate. So all that happens in an essentials cohort. Okay. Beyond that, we at WENcademy in these 3 years we have created around 36 programs which are dedicated to talent acquisition professionals. You're working for a corporate, you're working for a consulting site, anything from it is like an end-to-end cycle, and there is an intervention and a program to help you at every stage. So for example, some of our very successful programs is around diversity hiring. So what are the best practices or the effective ways to do diversity hiring? That's one of our important programs. I'm just trying to recall what all programs. So another program of ours is around the leadership hiring, that how do you really what are the key differentiators you should have when you're hiring for C-suite people. So that is something which can work for a lot of your community members. We have programs around how to find how to do right assessments, right engagement of candidates. So end to end, we have a lot of programs in the form of workshops to offer. So that's one side of it. The second side of it is working with end organizations, wherein we are not only talking about upskilling of recruiting teams, but we are talking about a full-fledged learning and development initiatives for various other functions. So that is where the entire gamut of offerings comes from at WENcademy. If I have to specifically talk about a community, which is I am a recruiter and people who are all recruiting right now, I think we would be happy to share our offerings and what we can do for you with all the members on the community and work forward from there. If you have an interest, reach out to us. We have cohorts every month, Prafulla. And these are like multiple cohorts going on. So there are parallel cohorts which goes on, so we have a lot of trainers to help us run through this. One of the things which I want to bring to notice of everyone here is that, WENcademy does all mentor-led sessions. So none of our programs are like pre-recorded sessions. These are like live sessions, which we do online, offline. And when you have a mentor sitting right across, whether it is virtually or being present in person, I think learning is at a different levels, because you have someone to fall back on, ask your questions there and then. So I think that is something as a USP we want to maintain. And I think that is something which we definitely want to continue and keep doing it, as it has done very well for us. Also, another thing which I want to tell the community members is that, it's not about that, you were a part of the program and you didn't get something, so now you cannot reach out. We believe in one-on-one, query solving sessions. We definitely believe in the fact that, if you want to come back and tell us that, okay, I didn't understood this part of the program, I have doubts here. So not only our handbooks can help you in referring to what you learned, but also mentors are available, at least till a particular amount of time post the program as well, to answer your questions. So I think that is something which is working very well for WENcademy. Two things for sure. Of course, a lot of depth on the content which we bring in our programs, and the mentor-led sessions, these one-on-one connects, wherein if you're not comfortable mentioning your question in the group as well, you can reach out to your mentor and kind of get that sorted. And there are situations when people have reached out and said that, okay, I am dealing with a candidate who's, we have made an offer 2 times to the person, but still the person's not agreeing to join. So what all we can do in that case. So a little case-wise discussions also, we are good with that. And that is how we also learn and we are also evolving. But yeah, I mean, we will be happy to help the community, support them in their upskilling, reskilling journey, learn new practices, and we'll be more than happy to share our offerings and credentials with all of you to take this ahead. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Kavya, for sharing all the different cohorts and modules and courses you have at WENcademy. I'm pretty sure that there are lots of people, recruiters who might be benefited from these courses. So we'll definitely urge our recruiters, sources, friend to go to your platform to connect with the individuals. But whenever we are launching any program together, we'll definitely share those details as well with them, that these are some of the programs based on the research we have done. This is what you can go and
so absolutely, we'll be more than happy to work with the community. I think all of us should keep looking at how we can be a better version of ourselves in terms of our learning. And WENcademy can definitely value add to the journey of talent acquisition and recruiting professionals. And we are happy to be a part of your journey in this career.
Sure.
Right.
With this, Kavya, we are almost on the time, but I definitely want to say thank you so much for sharing your experience, your journey, and being candid. So thank you so much for sharing those tips as well. And you are doing a great job in talent acquisition space, talent management space as well. So all the best, and looking forward for more collaboration together with your organization as well.
Sure. Thank you, Prafulla. Thank you for having me here. And thank you for your time. And we look forward to be an active participant to the community growth. And please help us know how we can help all of you. We'll be happy to support the community growth. Right.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.